Hello and welcome to Game Week 5 results and a preview of Game Week 6 video of Forged and Fire. So looking back, this was supposed to be a maintenance week. This was getting rid of some players that might still do well this week, but I need to prepare for this upcoming game week, which is a blank game week between Cavalry and Forge. Backfired in some ways, but again, it was supposed to be just kind of maintaining my position, and I ended up still going up 5 spots. But I was actually in third at one point this week after the York 9 game, and just bad game for my Cavalry players, and the Forge game wasn't the best, so I ended up dropping quite a few spots back to 20. And while going up, the only thing is, first is really the only good or big prize, and the person in first is ahead by quite a bit on even second place, never mind 20th, so there is some catching up to do, and I'm hoping game week 6 will be that week, as hopefully some people aren't preparing for this game week 6 as much as I have been. Okay, so looking forward to how people have done. Pantemis, this was my first game with a different goalie. I've had Henry up until now, which maybe it would have been better to just keep Henry because he got the clean sheet. So a lot of people made up points on me that way. And in that Valor versus Edmonton game, his clean sheet got taken away. The only positive is it was taken away by Ungaro. So I got 4 points for an Ungaro goal, which is okay. It took away 2 clean sheets because I had Jean Baptiste as well. The only thing is a lot of people actually have 2 Valor defensive players, whether that be Pantemis and a goalie or Jean Baptiste and Dunn or some other type of combination like that. So I don't think it hurt me an excruciating amount, and it did get me an Ungaro goal, which they've been few and far between for the most part. That's just his second goal this season. He was projected to do a lot better than that. Cavalry did not, like, back-to-back losses for them. They lost to Pacific, and a bit of an upset there. Farsi got a yellow for sure, and both of them get -1 point for having 2 goals scored on them. So not good production for my Cavalry players. It would have been good if I still had Mavilla, another place where it backfired, because he got a penalty goal, of course. So that's, again, Henry and Mavilla. That might have cost me because a lot of people do have those 2 players, and they both fared well this week. So again, I'm hoping the fact that I got rid of them to prepare for this upcoming week ends up kind of counteracting that and hopefully even doing better. And then finally, Thompson. Unfortunately, they gave up that late 90th minute goal to Halifax in their 1-1 tie. It's just really unfortunate because I knew I had a bit of a contradiction with Garcia up front, and I was like, okay, at least if York 9 gets scored on, Garcia, I hope it's Garcia. He's been doing really well. He's been a main goal scorer. And after the red card, the early red card in the game, right after Aparicio's goal, which I'll get to in a second, Morelli gets a red card, which was good because a lot of people have Morelli. And I was like, okay, York 9 should be able to handle this clean sheet. Halifax has shown they're very stingy defensively. They have a couple offensive threats, but one of them just got sent off. And obviously, if someone's going to score and Morelli's not there, it's going to be Garcia, which, nope, it did not happen. And therefore, I lost a clean sheet for Thompson and the 1 point clean sheet for Aparicio as well. But basically the highlight of the week was Aparicio's free kick goal. As far as fantasy is concerned, the winning goal by Valor was stunning, but he's not on my team, so I don't really care. But Aparicio's free kick goal was awesome. Finally getting me some solid returns there. A 5 point goal because he's a midfielder. And I just couldn't have been happier about that. That is the game. Basically, because that happened is why I jumped up to 3rd place overall at one point. And I was first in the Forge group, which I'm pretty close to first still. I think I'm only 3 points behind, but it's a tight race up there. But yeah, so the York 9 game was good except for that really late Halifax goal. Kind of put a damper on it. And then Forge, Sabak's proven to be consistent. He got the clean sheet point and another assist, which I believe he got an assist last time. And if I had him earlier, there would have been a penalty goal at some point. So he's proven to be a consistent player, I think I'd end up continuing with him in my team into the next round. But Becker as captain, he just hasn't really shown or got what I wanted him to get out of it. He got the clean sheet point, which at least gives him 6 points rather than a 4 or less, which would have sucked. So it's not great. I'll take it for this week. 6 points from a player isn't bad. Just from a captain, you want to be seeing double digits. And Babuli, like, why isn't this guy starting more? Between I think it was like a start for Novak, 2 starts for Balbinotti, and now another start for Novak. So I don't know. I think Bobby Smiriotis doesn't like something about it. I don't know. He comes on every game just to get me a point, which kind of sucked because I'd rather him just miss the whole game so Blasco could have come on because he did well against Cavalry and got the assist. But yeah, like, it's just rough having him in just for a single point all the time when he is such a good striker as far as the Canadian Premier League is concerned, I think. And I've already touched on both Ungaro and Garcia. So that's kind of how my week went. It wasn't the worst week. Again, maintenance week, and that's what happened, which is good. Just you always want to exceed expectations, I guess, and that's... I'm not overly enthused about it, but I'm near the high part of the ranks. It's my first year doing Canadian Premier League fantasy. It's proven to be challenging, and I'm happy to be in the top 20 right now. So looking back to the results before I go forward to this week, we had a 2-1 win for Valor over Edmonton. Beautiful goal. I think it was by Kasher to win the game. 1-1 tie between Halifax and York 9. Late goal by Halifax to tie that one up. I think this should say Pacific 2, Cavalry 1. So just keep a note on that Pacific won that game, not Cavalry. And a 2-0 win by Forge over Ottawa. But now we look to game week 6 coming up. The transfers. I said in the last video that the Forge players were gone, so we got Becker, Sabak, and I'm more used to saying Balbinotti now than Babuli. Babuli is gone, and that's just to prepare for game week 6. I didn't want to have to, because I already have Carter and Zobrazemo as well, who I don't want to be playing, so I couldn't just fit 4 Cavalry or Forge players on the bench. So I only kept 2, and reminding the reason that I kept Farsi and Boskovic out of all of those is because they're the cheapest, so I could put the most money into a starting 11 this week, and I still even have some left over, so it'll make going back to those kind of players a little easier. And I brought Bustos, who had a great game against Cavalry, and hoping if he has a similar game as a captain, which I'm planning on captaining him, that'll make for some big points to catch up. A lot of people do have Bustos, so I'm not, like, it might not get me as high up as I want, but at least we'll cover, if not pump me up the rankings. I brought in DiChiara. He's just been very consistent for York 9. Even when they weren't doing well, he was the one getting them the points. And again, a lot of people might have him, but it's either cover or pumping me up the rankings. And yeah, he's just the way like he plays in the position. I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be the player I'd be going after. I thought maybe Rivero. But just when he's so consistent, I need to have him in my team for this week, especially because they're playing Edmonton, last place. Who knows if they're going to even show up for that game, really. They have nothing to play for. I've heard rumors from my friend Peter, who runs the team Forza Forge in this league, that the coach might already be on his way out. So I don't know if what's happening there. Maybe they'll try to just prove something. Their last game is their last game. They might just give it all for it because they know that they're going home after that, as they are mathematically eliminated. But York 9 has a hell of a lot more to play for than Edmonton does. So I think that could be a slaughter. And then Acuna I brought in. I don't necessarily want him to do well because I have McNaughton that I want to get a clean sheet and stuff like that. But a lot of people do have Acuna. A lot of people captain Acuna as well. So that is a cover player for me that if by chance Ottawa does pull something out of a hat, which they've beaten the best team at the time for their win, so maybe they'll have a big game against Pacific as well, although I think that had to do a lot with conditions. But if someone's getting points on Ottawa, it's likely to be Acuna. And at least I have him there to cover those points if he's there, if I don't get as many from my Pacific players. But now looking forward to the full team and not just the transfers. Pantemis is, I think, going to be my keeper for the next little while. I might have to get him out after game week 7 if Valor doesn't make the next round, which they very well might. And then I have Thompson, Jean-Baptiste, and McNaughton. Those are probably my projected winners for this week, as York 9 I think will beat Edmonton, Pacific I think will beat Ottawa. Valor Halifax will be a really good game. I look forward to watching that game. But we'll see. They're both kind of defensive teams, so we'll see what happens there. I could even see a 0-0 draw there. Who knows? And then McNaughton, who so far I've played him pretty well. Sat him the first week I had him. They got scored on. Clean sheet the next game, which worked out. And then they got scored on by Cavalry last game as well in a penalty. But so far he's been doing what I want when he's in. So he's going to get the start again. Have Acuna and DiChiara, who I just mentioned in the middle, hoping for another big game out of Aparicio. And Blasco's been playing really well, and I regret not playing him last game. I hope he doesn't get rotated at all, but Pacific really needs to be going for it right now because it's tight in the middle, and they currently have a spot, and they want to solidify that. So I think he will play this upcoming week. And then we have Bustos, Garcia, and Ungaro up top. Ungaro's not really someone that I would want to play this week because I think they're going to get clapped, but he has to be in just based on my bench, basically 4 players that won't play. Maybe Carter would come in as a sub, but again, if he scores again, I mean, is it the worst thing? It would take away a couple clean sheet points between 2 points in my midfielders and 4 in my defense, but it wouldn't. If someone's going to score, I hope it's him at least. Looking forward to plans upcoming. I'm trying now, so before I was trying to make sure that I get my Forge and Cavalry players out ahead of this. Now it's going to be about getting players out that won't be making the next round. So I don't know if we're going to get some kind of wild card and just get to pick a new team going into the next round. I don't know about that, but there's going to be just dead players on our team that don't have games because they're out if we have too many different teams kind of thing in, and we're going to only have players from 4 different teams that will be playing after game week 7. So Ungaro is going to be one of the first to get out, and I think this week will be very telling. I think Acuna will have to go out pretty quick. I mean, Zobre Zemo is just a placeholder anyway, so if I don't know what other transfer to make, I might get him out at some point. Or maybe if I bring back Henry or someone, I'll get him out and have 2 playing goalkeepers. I don't know. Valor's on the cusp teams, so I might have to get out those players. But basically, I'm going to have 2 sets of transfers to get in players that will be playing in that round of 4. And I think I'm going to be pretty safe with Pacific players. I think I'm going to end up having to get Cavalry and Forge players back in. And maybe York 9, which was my original projections was Forge, Cavalry, York 9, and Pacific to get in. And if Pacific and York 9 are 2 of those teams, I'm going to have a lot less damage control to have to do. If Halifax and Valor or Valor or both get in, then it's going to be a bit more stressful and having to move players out. But yeah, I might try to get Zobre Zemo and Carter out as well, just because I have some money in the bank. But those are both 225k players, so I can't do significant upgrades with those. But yeah, just have more players that are playing and will be playing for the remainder of the island games. But other than that, our 3 games, not 4 games this week coming up are Edmonton and York 9, Valor and Halifax, and Pacific and Ottawa. Really hoping to climb the rankings using all my preparation for this week. And yeah, if it backfires, I might be in some trouble and fall down the rankings a bit. Hope you liked this video. Good luck this week. Please subscribe to the channel so we can continue the following. And in case you forget and don't want to have to rewatch a video or find where things are placed, the Instagram page for this team is canfpl_forged and fire. If you want to look for that too and start following that, that'd be appreciated as well. Take care and good luck moving forward.